Senator Daines.
Thanks, Mr. Chairman. I want to explore the challenges regarding responsible energy development in Indian country and talk about the possible solutions. I know, Councilman Stafford, you've got some ideas there as well. Senator Barrasso, I think, has a good bill to strengthen the tribe's abilities to control their own destinies and have more authority in developing their own energy. Remind members of this committee, the House recently passed H.R. 538, the Native American Energy Act, with a strong, very strong bipartisan vote of 254 to 173, which includes some good provisions to streamline permitting processes and make some worthwhile improvements in the BIA, such as appraisals and ensuring the 7 regional offices are going off the same playbook, some standardization. The GAO report mentions one challenge in Indian energy development, and that's a lack of access to energy tax credits in Indian country. Senator Tester and I have introduced a bill to make permanent the Indian coal production tax credit to incentivize on Indian reservations for energy development where it's already too costly and where it's needed most. Questions I have, start with Mr. Kutch, Mr. Olgin. You both mentioned frustration with meaningful consultation with the BIA and other federal agencies regarding energy projects. In particular, you mentioned the hydraulic fracturing rule. And we know in Montana, and especially in Councilman Staffney's neck of the woods, how important that technology, hydraulic fracturing, has been in unlocking prosperity for rural communities. So my question, could you expand on the challenges associated with the hydraulic fracturing rule? Why don't we start with Mr. Kutch?
Well, the new proposed rule we find to be duplicative of what states already provide, and it means added time and cost to our operations to be able to follow those new regs, whatever they may end up being. So that would be my comment related to that.
Mr. Olgin?
Well, for us, the challenges as far as consultation, it did occur from the very beginning when we didn't feel we had fruitful consultation on what the BLM rule was going to be comprised of, let alone what was it going to become. We ended up at the point where we drafted our own regulation, passed it through tribal resolution, and we're at the point now where we have filed suit against BLM for their regulation being imposed on tribal land. So we're in litigation now. There is a stay from the judge, and with that, we're working on settlement.
So why don't you think you receive meaningful consultation? Here's my experience has been meaningful consultation by the bureaucracies here tend to be, well, we received a letter, we had a meeting, we had a cup of coffee, we came to a conference room, but it seems like you're not being listened to in terms of the substance of your proposals and argument.
Yes, and that's true. When we look at the initial, it was a PowerPoint presentation of here's what hydraulic fracturing is. Well, we know what hydraulic fracturing is. We've been doing it for 50 years, so it wasn't necessarily we needed an education component. We needed to understand what is the rule, what was the rule intended to do, and let's have this meaningful conversation face-to-face, discuss the issues, argue back and forth if that's what it takes, but come to an understanding that we're talking the same thing.
So do you believe that these agencies understand what meaningful consultation really
Today,
is?
yes, I think they do today.
And why aren't you being heard?
Well, today they are because of the lawsuit.
But that seems as a failure in the process.
Yeah.
In terms of we should be able to try to avoid the courts and have the meaningful consultation up front.
I'm not sure. I mean, I have my own speculation, but I really don't know.
Mr. Roberts, did the BIA work with BLM on the implications of the hydraulic fracturing rule in Indian country?
Implications?
Right. I mean, they're in court. There's a disconnect here. There's implications. There's consequences.
So it is BLM's rule. I know that it is in litigation. There's not a whole lot, unfortunately, I can say about that. As the Honorable Olgin said, we are in settlement discussions with the tribe on their lawsuit.
But I guess I mean, do you, as in the BIA, do you work with these other agencies like the BLM to ensure that the tribal trust responsibility is upheld appropriately? Because I don't think it's been upheld appropriately.
Sure, we do work with the other federal agencies, and that's one of the things that we are trying to incorporate in the service center. So the service center, if we get funding from Congress to move forward with that, will be BLM, it'll be Honor, it'll be BIA. We will all be co-located so that we're all working together.
But that's an activity. I'm looking for a result. I mean, it looks like what's happened here has been a failure in that process, where the tribe is saying they don't believe they really experienced meaningful consultation.
There's really not a lot at this point. Again, because it is in litigation, Senator, there's not, I can't really comment on the adequacy of consultation in that process.
Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Daines. Senator Heitkamp.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.